all that up. But uno más. I'm gonna end on a light note, and you guys can pick it up a notch or bring us down, or both. This is a scene that takes place between the protagonist and his friend Whitey. You'll learn to love it, Whitey says, and while I'm not a gambling man, I feel certain this is a bet you'd lose. I drink too much and exercise too little, and based on what I see all around me, I can't figure out if I should feel grateful or dejected. Grateful because half the people I see are disgraceful. Tomato jowl, fatzos huffing and puffing their way to a first heart attack. They're dressed identically, khaki slacks and double extra large polo shirts that are all still 3 sizes too small, tucked in so that they're guts, marvels of sheer mass, spherical monsters poised to attack or at least make a break for it, restrained only by those tireless belts, heroically strapped in their holding patterns, can do everything in their power to hold gravity hostage. The other half are the opposite extreme and cause me to question why I can't summon the desire to stop treating my body like a temple of doom. These carb-counting, cardio-conversing, protein shake-pounding members of the Bionic Boys Club. These are the men who have nursed crushes all their lives, but are only now almost ready to commit and confess to the world how much they truly love themselves. The kind of men who had sex with their wives and felt like it was an act of betrayal. Men supremely confident to grow mustaches without irony. Men who wash their cars more often than most people wash their sheets. Men who never heard a compliment they could not improve upon. Only in one place could one find so seamless a pairing of extremes. The golf course, obviously. Wow, I say. This is even worse than I imagined. You better get used to it, like he says. How do you figure? You better learn to love it, because this is where you want to be anywhere. If you want to get anywhere in this business. In this business? What business do you mean? The asshole business? Hey man, I'm just telling you like it is. So what's next? You're telling me I need to fuck my boss to get promoted? You should be so lucky, he says jokingly, I think. If only it were that easy, he adds, jokingly, I hope. Whitey, please do me a favor. What? Say something that doesn't make me want to beat the shit out of you. I'm serious, dude. This is how business gets done. Business? Doctors, lawyers, businessmen, deals get closed on golf courses more than offices. As is too often the case with Whitey, I can't help but wonder if there's a book somewhere that people have to read in order to spout this kind of stuff, or if it's simply the result of assiduously avoiding reading in the first place. Hey Whitey, have you ever heard of H.L. Mencken? Who? Never mind. Did he win the Masters or something? Not exactly. Look, if you want to get with your colleagues and have them trust you, you got to do it out here on the links. This is how you bond with the big boys. How the fuck do I want to bond with any of them, I don't ask. I only need them to trust me as far as they can throw me, I think. If you say so, I say. I know so, says Whitey. He's right about one thing. Everyone plays golf. I was almost surprised when I discovered that our CEO and the rest of the honchos couldn't be bothered to blow off 6 or 12 hours every week. Then again, they're too busy probably playing with money to goof around with golf. They're too busy buying golf courses to play golf. Myself, I usually sleep on Sunday mornings. Everyone else, it seems, is either on the golf course or at church. As far as I can tell, I haven't been missing much. As far as I can tell, golf affords grown men the opportunity to accomplish 2 things. Get out of work, or if they're married, out of the house on weekends, and drink beer. Not that I'm necessarily opposed to either activity, but I usually don't have to dress up like a frat boy from the early 80s to make it happen. And I certainly don't have to shell out $60 to ride around in a cart and occasionally jump out to whack my ball into the woods or in the water. Couldn't we at least have bought some good beer, I asked? You have to bring cans, he explains. That way you can cram them into your golf bag. We could always not drink, I don't say. You learn to love it, I offer. You don't love it? I used to love it, then I got better. So, now I'm good enough that I hate it. Oh, so it only gets better from here, I sigh. You'll see, he smiles. Here's the real kicker. A lot of these dudes will get up while it's still dark outside so they can squeeze in a semi-quick 18 holes before heading into the office. I can't fathom it. And yet, I have no option but to admire that level of lunacy disguised as dedication. Myself, I feel pretty confident that if someone offered to shovel money in my car, but I had to show up before 6 a.m., I'd happily hit the snooze button a few more times instead. It's already getting chilly in the mornings and early evenings, so I wonder what these sportsmen do with themselves during the winter months. Sleep? Watch TV? Get to know their children again? Anything, I reckon, rather than spending more time at work. And on that score, finally, we find some common ground. Look at, Whitey says, iron in one hand, can of awful beer in the other, unlit cigarette dangling. This is America. Reluctantly, I have no real choice but to agree with him.